presume you guys are here to talk about the north side dump station.
Did somebody tell you?
That paper.
Can I address the board?
Sure.
What is your name, please?
Robert Rayburn, R-A-Y-B-U-R-N. I'm on the north side. Okay, first of all, this has nothing to do with you guys. It had nothing to do with us prior to you, and many prior to us for several decades. The dump station over there was closed by the secretary. The office manager was closed by the office manager, and then that property was sold by the office manager. No board approval, no board even knowing what's going on. So therefore, the dump station that the covenant clearly talks about on the north side became non-existent. It's private property now.
Can I interrupt you for a minute, Robert? When you talk about there being a dump station over previously, there is no indication through the DEQ that approval was ever gained to make the dump station. There's no record. We went back through paperwork, and there was no record of a dump station actually being legally created over there. DEQ has no record of it. So, and I know you're talking about back when someone was, in charge of the office, and I know who you're talking about. But apparently, if there was a dump station that was made, it was not done legally.
Well, if it wasn't done legally, there is one over there.
Okay.
I can walk you to it and show you.
I don't doubt it.
But my point is,
Right.
thank you. My point is, I'm dragging I call it a shit wagon, I'm sorry.
The honey wagon. Honey wagon.
Turd coat.
Turd tote. I'm dragging a turd tote on a public road. I'm crossing an interstate highway. And if that sucker turns over, that's waste. I'm screwed. And the people say it turns over on the bridge up there. Possibly shut down the interstate. It will shut down this road for sure. 50 grand, I'm told, possible fine, etc. My dad, in his infinite wisdom, used to just pump this turds down into the gully and then went off into the lake. When I took the property over, I stopped that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And hence the total weight. Now, all I want is a bathhouse, water, and a dump station in this park. I can deal with the trash deal. I know what the covenant says, and it gave you an out, and you took it. Okay? I'm here in support of you folks. You know, I'm not an enemy. I just want my bathhouse, my water, and my dump station. So that I can take it right over there, get rid of it. Now, over here, now that I have to come over here and have for, you can imagine how long. Is that washout? Why is that not working?
I don't recall when we deactivated it because it's a high flow water line and somebody had leaned it on all night long.
What's a good reason?
Yeah. We tried putting a lock on it, and people complained about the lock because they couldn't use it. And like,
Okay,
that's
I walked up the first time that sign had been put up there to do what I've done for decades. I'm over to the south side, and I started laughing at that sign that you've got there. There's a sign right there at where that faucet is, telling me to wash it out and put the cap back, which makes sense, but there's water over on the side of the building.
right. You have to bring a hose. That's what we do.
I have to bring a hose. Well, how am I going to know that if I'm not informed? And please don't say Facebook. I hate that.
Thank you.
Not everyone is on the internet and on Facebook. Some folks out here don't have it at all. We talk about providing a hose there. but
Then someone else steals it.
Somebody will steal it.
Somebody steal it, yeah,
So, you know, I'm just talking to you guys.
right, I agree.
I know where you're coming from. To be fair, we explored every avenue to put a dump station over there legally. The problem is it's cost ineffective.
well, and not only that,
It'll cost,
the,
legally, it'll cost $20,000.
in addition to that, the DEQ, Stephen Dunn said that it can't be done because there's not enough area to put a dump station over there. So if we had access to that property which was sold, maybe that would have provided enough property. The existing property, there's not enough room per the DEQ. And we also, just a second, I'll finish and then, in addition, Stephen Dunn said that to go with a piggyback idea of putting an additional tank onto the other tank to expand the capacity, I believe that was, more affordable. But he said that he would not even, he would not even consider a permit for us to explore that option until we got the water under control. He said the water usage going through the park, especially on the north side, absolutely unbelievable. We've got way too many gallons going through. We're beyond our capacity. It was created as a, you know this because you've been board members before. It was created to be a campsite, bathhouse and whatnot. And so we now have people who are full-time.
To be a KOA.
Right, exactly. And so we've got too much water going through there, so they're not going to approve even a piggyback option. And what did he tell you about the piggyback option, about the feasibility,
So it's a short-term, expensive short-term solution.
and in a few months or whatever, we would outgrow that as well.
That's why we didn't go ahead with what you all approved.
The main reason was, he said, there's not enough room for a dump station, and the piggyback idea won't even consider it without getting the water flow under control, which is what we're trying to do with these cylinder that we're attaching, so that there will be a timer to turn off. So we're trying, it's just that we have to go through these steps.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear. Lynn, you want to say something?
I'll wait until I'm good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Ted, sorry.
Oh, do you have something on this subject?
Well, on the subject where you're talking about, my name is Lynn Storch, STORTS. I guess you're calling it a piggyback. But anyway, because I actually did a lot of phone calls and talked to DEQ. I talked to Cassandra at the time, who was down in the McAllister office, DEQ. She actually sent records up here that showed that layout of the north side septic system and dump tank. So you're saying there's not any record of it here or out of the McAllister office?
The people who checked into it,
The people who checked into it, which was Jerry, right?
Jerry,
Okay.
well, Stephen Dunn is the one that talked to Ted most recently, but as far as looking for paperwork, it was Jerry and somebody else didn't.
It was available,
Okay.
okay? It showed that dump station.
Okay.
We had a dump station.
But that's the one that Robert was talking about that was sold illegally?
That was sold across the street, closed up. We don't know about that story, it's past. But
Yeah.
here's the whole thing about it is, we had a dump station.
Yeah.
We are, by all rights, do a dump station. In other words, we should have a dump station because it says in the covenants that a dump station, of course, we've already addressed the track, water, bathhouse, toilet, at each one of these facilities. Okay, we don't have a dump station. We actually had it approved. We had it approved. We had a contractor set, and all that it was going to be put on as a permit, a modification permit, which was already approved by Cassandra and set up with Tony Haley to install. He purchased the tank, and he actually came out at one time, and it was when it was so wet, he was like, I can't, the groundwater's not going to allow me.
Now, is that an extra tank adding to the existing one?
That's the tank that what they were going to do is they were going to set it close to the same septic field that's there,
Right.
and then what it was going to do is going to carry over to the septic tank that was there.
So that's
I guess you're calling that a
Yeah,
piggyback.
I think they refer to it as a piggyback.
It was approved. as a modification to allow us to have a 1,500-gallon dump tank.
Okay, so it was approved by the DEQ?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We have no paperwork.
We need to find that paperwork, then there is no record of it, and we'll follow up with the
It was all in the
DEQ.
minutes, and then, you know, we approved the amount that was going to be spent on that, which was $3,000.
Now, I remember that. We could not find any paperwork to that extent. Nothing was left for us as a
Well, it's
board
amazing.
coming in.
It's an amazing problem with this office. That paperwork always gets misplaced or lost.
If it was.
Oh, it's amazing and all.
I understand it. Now, however, that was all approved, money was allocated.
Right.
Where does it show the money coming back into the budget?
We put it back in a couple months ago, several months ago.
It's in the minutes where we put
It's
it
in the
on.
minutes where you show the $3,000 that was approved for that dump tank, go back.
Go
in.
back, yes.
I'd like to see those minutes.
And probably May or, April or May.
I would like to see those minutes. I have not seen them.
When was this stuff approved by DEQ and the monies approved for?
It was approved in, what was that, October of the previous year before we left.
Before the new board came on in April, it was October prior to that.
What year?
2019.
Well, how long y'all been here?
2020.
I'm just wondering, if it was all approved, why wasn't it done then?
Because of the weather.
It was too wet, so therefore they was waiting for things to dry up, which would have been last summer. And of course, when it came time, whenever things were dried up, you know what we were told? We feel like it's more important that we get a tractor, so your dump station has been disregarded.
Now, that wasn't said by anybody on this board.
Thank you.
And it basically come from a great connection, so
Great connection.
no names need to be said, but see, the whole thing about it is why wasn't it taken care of?
So like I said, we have no bid, we have no nothing.
Yeah,
We
when
haven't had
we
any
began
information
to
on
follow
that.
up with it, with the intention of following through on that was discussed, and I do remember that
We
being
tried.
discussed,
We worked through
is
it.
that this is what the previous board approved, now we need to follow up on it and make sure that it gets done, and then when we begin to check into it, then we were told, and we didn't speak to Cassandra, I believe that the previous person did call the McAllister office because he mentioned it, but you know, the person that we're dealing with now is a Representative Stephen Dunn, and he said he wouldn't even approve a permit, so obviously he doesn't know that it was approved,
I even called the line locator for that.
okay?
Yeah, Daryl was here at that time.
Yeah, and do you remember
I've got paperwork, I believe, outside.
okay, on the DEQ, on the approval?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah, see, we were never, that was never shared with us, and this is what we were told by who we were speaking to, so, that's why
Welcome to
we,
the board.
yes. This is why we couldn't follow through on it, is we were told something completely different. You can't do this, you gotta get your water under control, and if it was approved, then is there too much water going through there now for them to follow through and allow us to do it? If they told us we've gotta get our water
Let's not
under
talk anything
control.
about it until we find out.
Okay, yeah, so we need to find the
We've
paperwork.
got a beginning. Thank you for letting
Yes,
us know.
yeah, thank you.
And let's
Please,
go
thank
from
you.
here.
Thank you, that's what I came here to hear.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and
what we-
Matt, might I add, I just want to follow through with the same thing. It's like, you know what, I just want the Covenant States, I need to have a bathhouse, toilet facilities, I need to have fresh water available to me, and a place to dump my refuge, okay? Now, I also, even though I don't have as big a one as he does, I'm talking about your turn tone. I had to specify that.
I'll wait for it to black tank.
Anyway, hauling across that road and that highway presents a hazard. In essence, he's saying, do you realize the amount of money that I could be fined with? Well, he doesn't carry the sole responsibility there. Open Heart does too.
I don't have to disagree with that. If you're gonna transfer, report anything on a trailer, it's compulsory. Make sure it's.
But it states in the covenants that we are to have a bathhouse facility, toilets, shower, fresh water, and a place to dump our refuge.
But again, that was also based on the fact that when the covenants were created, when this facility, when this community was created, it was a pay away. And
Yes.
so you know, in order to provide a dump station that can handle the capacity that full-timers would put into it, you know, it may cost a little bit more than what we can do as a community now.
You're gonna have,
Well, even at the 1,500 gallons that you're saying that has been approved, if you have 4 people dump the 300 gallon tanks, you're gonna fill it up.
Okay, well, therein
So
lies,
that's-
so once again, that's step of services, that is illegal.
you're also gonna have to add to the lateral line system.
Let me ask you this, how many times that's happened and y'all been called saying your sewage is overflowing, you have to call road push out? to come suck it
Way
down?
too much.
See there, we understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we understand it.
The problem is these activities, because that's the whole reason why we started the process of the cameras, and I know we understand about the domes, but that's crap. You need to put in some cameras that aren't accessible, people will reach up and knock them around. You know, some good high def cameras, and you need to start getting evidence of this and taking these people. That's just like past assessments. Y'all realize how big of a problem that was until you took action. So you have to take action to get any results.
Dusty, did you have something?
Just on